military tensions. We've been watching these pictures all morning come in, and presidential candidate John McCain is now commenting on this confrontation between Russia and Georgia. John McCain says the UN Security Council needs to convince Russia to reverse course. Russian tanks and troops have been moving into this province of South Ossetia after Georgia launched a major offensive there to try to regain control of this breakaway province. South Ossetia won basically independence in a war that ended all the way back in 1992. It's the last time this province has seen fighting like this. Foreign Minister of Russia says he is getting reports of ethnic cleansing being carried out against civilians of Russian descent. Let's talk to Fox News producer Anya Ardaiva. She is on the phone now with us from Moscow. Anya, can you explain simply for our American audience here what exactly sparked all this?
Well, this has been an issue for quite a long time. The independence, South Ossetia won its independence, de facto independence in the early 1990s, and has been a very unstable region since then. And now that Russia has sent some 150 tanks and armored vehicles to this province, the convoy has reportedly already crossed the border and is expected to reach the capital of the province by evening, and this is likely to further complicate the already complicated situation in the region. And earlier, a senior Georgian security official has said that Russian jets have dropped 2 bombs at the Vadiani military base, 15 miles from the Georgian capital, Tbilisi. This is where American and Russian soldiers have been reportedly training jointly since mid-July, and American servicemen have reportedly left the base just a few days ago. Also, Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili accused Russia of bombing its territory, and the cabinet minister said 4 Russian combat planes flying over Georgian territory have been shut down. But Moscow, however, denies that its aircraft has been involved at all. A Russian military officer said that 10 Russian peacekeepers have been killed and that another 30 have been wounded. There are conflicting reports about the number of casualties among civilians, but earlier Russian media reported that up to 15 people have been killed. Both Russian President Dmitry Medvedev and the country's defense ministry have pledged to protect South Ossetians, most of whom, up to 90% of whom, have Russian passports. And also, last month, Georgia increased the size of its military to 37,000 soldiers, and today, Georgian President called up reservists and urged the nation to defend every meter of land. Russia, meanwhile, has a standing army of 1.1 million servicemen. Back to you.
Wow, this has escalated fairly quickly. Anya Ardaiva is our Fox News producer on the ground there in Moscow. She will let us know when she hears anything else, and of course, we'll continue to watch it. Sean?
The Pentagon is monitoring the situation there. It says so far it has received no requests of assistance from Georgia. The U.S. is reacting to the crisis there. President Bush's spokeswoman urges Russia and Georgia to try to end some of the fighting and bloodshed there. She told reporters in Beijing that both sides need to engage in direct talks. The president, of course, is in Beijing for the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games. News from the U.S. State Department now on the battle in Georgia. Harris Faulkner has the details from our breaking news desk. Harris?
Well, just as reports are coming in, John, that there may be as many as 1,000 fatalities in the capital. The South Ossetian minister, those are his numbers, calling this a bloody situation in the capital there in Ossetia. Now the U.S. is saying, per the State Department, that it's sending an envoy to caucus leaders in the region to work to secure a ceasefire. And the State Department is also saying that they are urging that South Ossetia de-escalate and avoid any further conflict. And those reports are just coming in. And of course, we've been hearing from Republican presidential candidate John McCain, who's urging Russia to immediately withdraw from Georgia as well. But the startling number now that we are now working to confirm is coming from the South Ossetian minister. As many as 1,000 people killed in the last short while as the fighting is well underway between Georgia and Russia. It's back to you guys.
Harris Faulkner at the breaking news desk. Thanks, Harris.
Sure. A devout Muslim.
Let's talk about the the other Georgia real quickly. We just have about 30 seconds, but I know you have some pretty strong opinions on that battle going on there.
Russia has invaded a sovereign nation on the pretense that they're going to protect ethnic Russians. When was the last time we heard that argument? I'll tell you, it was 1938. Hitler said he had to invade Czechoslovakia to protect the ethnic Germans living in Czechoslovakia. That started World War II. This is a shocking and profoundly important news story. We better all pay attention. I know the president has spoken to now Prime Minister Putin in Beijing. I know that Condoleezza Rice, our Secretary of State, is in urgent discussions. You have to remember, though, that Georgia, now invaded by Russia, was applying for NATO membership, right. And they have over 125 U.S. troops on the ground in Georgia right now. This is an extremely serious story.
Geraldo, we'll catch more on Geraldo at Large Saturday and Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Geraldo, thanks very much, and we'll continue to